All right. So here we are. Luther's world of cryptids, ghosts, and the unexplained. I have a story for you. This is not just a story. This is something that I went through when I was, I think I was like 12 years old. I used to live in Oregon, upper west coast of the United States, and my family and I would say every summer vacation we would take a trip to the coast. And I remember this one time we went to the coast. We would always listen to rock music and stuff. My dad was in his own rock band and such. He also was a Golden Gloves boxing champion, so he was a beefy guy. He wasn't like some small time guy, so he wasn't scared of much. But I remember this one time we went to the coast. We went to a lighthouse that had this long path, and it had bunnies and stuff that were hopping around on the path, and we used to love going there. And we went there this one time, and my whole family was just like loving the bunnies and all that. And I was looking, and it was on this gigantic cliff, just like what you're seeing next to me. Gigantic cliff, and I went to the side, and there wasn't a fence. There was, have you ever seen where they put this like rebar into the ground and then they just put like plastic fencing on it? That's what there was there, because they hadn't built a full-on fence yet. So there was just like a piece of plastic between me and like certain death. So I was just like holding on to the plastic and looking over, and I looked down, and there was, like, you could just see there's a whole part that the ocean has carved out over thousands of years. And there were just these little tunnels, not tunnels, but like caves that were carved out by the ocean itself. And I'm just looking down, and I'm seeing the ocean crashing, waves crashing, but then further down from that, like further to where it had already cut out this gigantic piece, it was kind of like a low tide time. In that place, I saw these caves where it wasn't completely filled up with water or anything like that. And I look over, and there's a woman standing in one of these caves. And I knew that I was looking at a ghost at that point, because nothing was moving. Like she had an outfit on. It was like a outfit that would have been flowing. Like you could tell that there was some fabric to it. Her hair was long, but it wasn't moving at all. And it's really windy at this coast. I don't know if you've ever been to a to the coast, but I'm not kidding. It was windy as heck, and I looked down, and everything else was blowing. The water was coming through, but she was like untouched by anything. And I knew at that moment that I was looking at a ghost. And I looked down there, and she's looking right at me. And I knew that she wanted me to like figure out what happened to her. Like the way she was staring at me, I wasn't scared, but I knew that I was looking at a ghost. I knew I was looking at a person who had already died and wanted me to like try to solve her murder or something. And to this day, I haven't really looked into it because I'm worried what will happen. Because you know how it is when you look into something like this. There are people in these small towns, coastal towns and such, and if you start looking too deep into it, you can be next. So I've always been really worried to look into it, but I know for a fact I was looking at a ghost. Nothing was moving. Her hair wasn't flowing in the wind. She wasn't worried. She was just standing in the cave, staring right at me. And I to this day haven't looked into it, but maybe you can look into it. Maybe she won't be worried about you, Luther. But this is my story. I never told my mom. I never told my dad. I never told anybody until I got on to live streaming. So maybe you guys can help me. Maybe you guys can look it up. Maybe there's a death that has happened on Oregon's coast that you guys can help me solve, and we can get to the bottom of this. But that is my story for Luther, man. Thank you very much, Luther, for this opportunity. Luther's World of Cryptids, Ghosts, and Unexplained. You guys gotta check it out. Hook it up. Much love. Catch you guys next time. This is Gritty Urban Saga on Twitch, on YouTube. Look me up. Hook it up. Much love.